All right, everybody, listen up. You're watching another episode of Average is Failure with your host, Coach Vaughn. We have some principles for you here today, all right? Now, I want you guys to understand that one of the reasons why I do what I do is because I've experienced some very average moments. And so what I want you to, I don't want you guys to have to experience it. There's no need for you to experience it. The wise person will learn from somebody else's mistakes. The fool will still learn, but unfortunately the fool might just have to learn after making a couple of mistakes on their own, all right? So one of the average moments that I had is when I got arrested. And what's so crazy about it is that you're talking about, this is something that happened after I had been working on the principles, after I had been helping people, after I had been working with so many people to live up to their maximum potential and live up to their full potential. And what I found is that there were still certain things that I needed to work on personally. And so what happened is I found myself in a situation where I had just landed a brand new job in New York City. And in order to get back and forth from New York City, I used to have to take the train. And the train, how much I had to pay for a monthly pass was very, very expensive. And so it turns out that I knew somebody who was able to get tickets on a discount. And so they offered to help me out, and so that I could pay. It was still a lot of money, but it would allow me to at least have somewhat of a gap between what I was paying before, all right? But what ended up happening is that it turns out that later on we found out that the tickets were not legitimate, they were not real, okay? But silly old me, instead of discontinuing use of it, because I felt like, okay, you know what? I didn't have a lot of money at the time. I just started a new job. I wasn't bringing in that much money, all right? What happened is I said, you know what? I haven't had any problems thus far. Let's just finish out the month, and then next month we'll start brand new, all right? But what's so crazy is that I ended up getting caught with the fake ticket. And you know what ended up happening? I ended up getting arrested over something as silly as a ticket for a train. And so what happens is I'm sitting inside of the jail cell. I'm sitting inside of the holding cell that they had me in. And mind you, watch the embarrassment, right? They arrested me, handcuffed me, walked me out in front of all the people, right? But so I'm sitting there and I'm saying to myself, literally I was praying, all right? I'm a man, I pray, right? Every morning when I wake up, I pray. And so I'm praying and I'm asking God, like, God, what is it, what am I missing? You could have had me, you could have had me get caught with this earlier on, and yet you actually had me get caught with this train ticket on the final day that I could even use it, on the final train ride of that day that I could even use it. And so I felt like there had to be some sort of a purpose in that thing. And so one of the principles that was revealed to me was this: you have to, first of all, if you're going to be elevated in the future, it's better that you fail a little bit when there isn't as much at stake. And so what I really feel and what I really believe is that there were certain things that I had to get taken out of my character that were hindering me from being all that I could be, that had to be addressed as soon as possible before I could elevate to the next level. Now, one of the principles that I got from the whole thing as I was sitting there, this was being revealed to me as I was sitting there in the holding cell, was that, listen, you have to stop trying to get things at a discount. You have to stop trying to get things at a discount. One of the traps that we fall into often is that we try to find the easy way out. We try to find, well, which way is going to be a little bit less expensive. We try to find which route is going to be faster, which route is going to be easier. And what I want you to know is that the easier route, the least expensive route, the cheaper route is not always the best route. You might get to your particular goal, but the quality usually that's associated with that route, it might lead to some problems in the future. And so what I had to realize was, like, stop looking for things on a discount all the time. And then also what revealed to me was, like, Vaughn, you know what? Part of the reason why you've always had trouble in your life is this. You try, or you look at ways that you can get around the system. And so what I started realizing, like, look, life can no longer be about how can I get around this system and how can I get around this system. But you have to figure out in life, how can I use the system properly to my advantage and win in a legitimate way. All right. And so what do I mean by that? Watch this. My car in New York State, you have to pass inspection. And so one of the things that you can't have your check engine light on if you're going to pass inspection. And so my check engine light was on. If I was in another state, I'd be good. But because I'm living in the state of New York, I could not drive, right? And so what happens is even my mechanic said, yo, look, Vaughn, we've done this in the past. I can easily pass you for inspection or what have you, and you'll be good. I can get you a fake ticket. I said, listen, especially after what had already happened to me, I had already made up the decision in my mind that I would live. Because you have to understand, this whole thing is about principles and aligning the right actions with the right principles. And all my life, I had principles, but I wasn't living up to them. So because I had gone through this, and this is how you take what could be a bad situation and turn it around for good now. What could have been a bad situation, I learned from it. I made sure, listen, I will not fall prey to this thing again. I probably wouldn't even have gotten caught with the fake inspection sticker, right? But I said, it's no longer about whether or not I get caught or not. It's now about me living up to the principles that I hold dearly. And so I said, yo, you know what? You could give me a sticker, but I don't want the sticker. Why? Because I want to be legitimate in every single thing that I do, right? I've seen too many people who have made it big and have gotten in trouble because they haven't been legitimate with their taxes. Or I've seen too many people get to high levels and they've cut corners here and cut corners there. And so everything comes crumbling down, all right? So I said, I have to begin to take certain steps in order to become the kind of human being, the person, to maximize the fullness of my character's potential. All right. I know some people out there, I'm not putting anybody on blast or anything like that, but I know people who, look, you cheating on your insurance. All right. Right. You got your car. You know that registration in New York might be a little bit more expensive. So you have your car registered in another state and you're not really understanding that it's not about whether or not you'll get caught. Most likely you will never get caught. But what kind of character, you know, do you want to have? How do you want to perfect your character? You could cheat on that test if you wanted to, but what does that say about your character? Listen, there's a set of people out there that hold themselves accountable to where even if they were to do something and get around the system, there would be no punishment for it because they have decided that they would rather live up to their character rather than to settle for being less than who they know they could be, rather than settle for living a lie. Even if nobody else knew the lie, they would know that they were lying to at least themselves. They said, listen, we will not be those type of people. We will, from now on, this point forward, we will hold each other accountable, that even if this law over here, even if it's not even enforceable with a punishment, we have chosen for character's sake, for principle's sake, for the sake of honor, to live up to the principles that we say that we have. And so that's just a short synopsis, right? And I'm going to give you guys the rest of the story also on the next week. When we come back, there's another part to this story that I need for you guys to have, all right? So listen, average is failure. I've experienced what it's like to be average. I've experienced what it's like to be an average husband. I experienced what it's like to be an average citizen, which landed me getting arrested, all right? I've experienced what it's like to be an average student that caused me to get kicked out of school. I've experienced what it's like to be an average employee, which got me let go from a job in the past, all right? So watch this. I noticed that I didn't necessarily say bad, but simply because I was average, I experienced a lot of failures. And so what I want you to understand is that having character, your champion spirit, your championship is in your ability to live up to your principles. And that's simply what we call having character. And so average is failure, character is champion. Coach Vaughn here. If this helped you, if this is a help to you, if you believe that this will help somebody else, please, please, please share this video with somebody. If you enjoyed the video, if you learned something from it, press the like button. As I always say, if there's something that I can do better, or if you just want to share your own story, feel free to put something in the comment section, all right? And so that I can keep you guys updated with what we're doing, definitely subscribe to the channel, all right? Coach Vaughn out. Peace.